In the latest of our dispatches from the shifting of the Overton window, let's talk now about socialism. Axios and SurveyMonkey teamed up to ask the American people, that's for you, Brett, what the American people think about socialism. Now, understand there are very few people in America actually pushing for what makes sense to identify as socialism in the context of socialist states like in Europe and things like that. Generally, it's something that questions capitalism in at least some form, democratic socialism, a bunch of different things like that. There's a spectrum. But they're using the word socialism here, so just bear that in mind. So let's bring up the first chart, see what we got. This is a question, do you have a positive or negative reaction to the word socialism? And right there you have Democrats split up into different age categories. So youngest on the left, then a little bit older, and then the old folk. And you'll note that even Democrats over 65 years old, 57% of them have a positive reaction to the word socialism. And once you get down to the youngins, it's 75%. So that's huge, but that's Democrats. I mean, come on, what does that mean? They're all a bunch of crazy lefties. Let's move on now to the next one. And you're to see there, we should have Republicans for that same question. And so you're seeing there, okay, so Republicans over 65, only 2% have a positive reaction. Not super surprising that all of those people had to be interrupted in watching Tucker Carlson to answer that question. But Republicans, 18 to 34, 29% have a positive reaction to the word socialism. That is the amazing fact of the day.
You sound optimistic about this.
Well,
about the 18 to, is it 18 to 24, is that the young age range? You sound-
18 to 34.
34, I'm sorry. You sound wildly optimistic, why?
You're not surprised that 1 out of 3 young Republicans like socialism? Not so bad.
I'm just noticing the 70% number right under it. And that's where my,
Yeah, but we don't need to turn all of them into, hardcore commies or anything. But if some of them are less aggressively against it, that's gonna have ripple effects. It's
I
gonna help in
understand, because
elections.
the thing is, like, it's as information is flowing more, and we're in the age of information and free information. Generally, you can get to it. People will have their own mindsets, but I wonder what percentage of that 29% of the 18 to 34, if you ask them verbally and around their peers what they think of the word socialism, you're gonna get a small number because it's all about the peer pressure.
That's fine. Answering a survey question is like being in the ballot box, or adjacent to it.
Okay.
It's a private thing. Anyway, okay, let's go a little bit beyond that, beyond just the labels. Okay, let's talk about actual policy preferences. So, what do you think is the biggest problem in this country? So let's bring this up. You're gonna have 4 Republicans. Now, what's interesting is that unfairness in the economic system that favors the wealthy is being contrasted with overregulation of the free market interferes with growth and prosperity. So blah, blah, lib, blah, blah, conservative.
Right.
Young Republicans, 31% think that unfairness in the economic system is the big issue, which, okay, again, compared to libs, not a huge thing, but compared to old Republicans, it's almost 3 times more liberal.
I'm beginning to see where you're going with this. At least there's a shift from the old guard of Republicans to the new. Okay, fine.
That's all that I'm saying.
I'll go with you this on this positive tone if you want me to.
Let me hit you with one more bit of data. Question, do you believe the federal government should or should not pursue policies that try to reduce the gap between wealthy and less well-off Americans? So, this is not as amazing, but believe strongly that they should for young Republicans is 11%. You combine that with believe somewhat that they should, that's 39%. Again, a nice big gap over Republicans 65 and older. That means these people are not going to vote based on trying to stop AOC from becoming president or whatever, however you term it. I think that is positive.
Okay, so then what this does tell us at least, we're gonna stay on this positive run here. I'm gonna try really hard, which has always been the basis for say Democratic candidates, or really any candidate that wants to appeal to the majority of folks. If you want to cross the aisle, go off of real policies and how policies that actually affect Americans rather than buzzwords. Because our buzzwords are socialism. How do you identify with the word socialism versus how do you identify with this policy that actually helps Americans, that Americans all pay into? The part that and still isn't said. I mean, even from the stretches of the party, Democratic Party, that talk about democratic socialism, they still don't even go so far as to say you're paying for this. They're still leaving that part out. They'll say, hey, you deserve it because you're Americans. And democratic socialism would work with enhancing your lives, healthcare, education, all that stuff, right? but still say it's still not free, because that is the buzzword that's getting pushed by the 65 plus and maybe the 55 plus Republicans is, hey, how about all that free stuff that they're trying to give away? No, we're paying for it.
Yeah.
Hey, if you make $35,000 a year, you are paying. Trust me, you are not one of these losers that's getting something for free. Your money is going into the government, trust me, every day.
Yeah.
We have to let them know you're paying into the pot, because the other side is telling you that you're just a loser who's siphoning off of the rich. No, you're not. No, you're not. Build some worth into those other folks that are in the society.
Well, and especially the siphoning off the wealthy. I mean, if we go back and we look at the chart of productivity and average wages, how they begin to diverge in the 80s, there is siphoning going on, but it's not from the wealthy, really.
They've been pushing it for so long, you have to believe it almost.
Exactly, exactly. And look, this is the most recent data we have is down to the 18-year-olds. We will have to wait to see if this continues. But if we look at generation by generation, it becoming the way it is, I think the next generation of Republicans will be centrist Democrats, and after that, everyone will be Joseph Stalin. So very exciting times coming for America in the future. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.